Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And I want to welcome you here today. And as you can see, I'm out and about. And I figured it's time for that motivational talk because it's always motivation. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know how we do this because there's a lot of things going on in the world these days. And some of you may feel down and out and still lose focus. So I had to make this video. We're going to talk about it. And welcome to Foci Optics. Check. Stop struggling now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back. So let's talk about this motivation because you would think that people care about money. You would think that people care about things. You would think people care about the most anything but being a part of a community. You wouldn't think that's number one. Being the part of being a boss. And what I mean by boss is management, camaraderie, working with others. That's well above money. Well, that's what I got to talk about today because this motivational talk we're about to have, there's nothing that you can do. If you're going to owe more money, you better start focusing on money, and that's part of the downfall. Some people are focusing on teamwork, community, getting along, being the boss of somebody, when in fact you need to concentrate on making that passive income, making that money. Like today, I'm sitting here in a shopping center. You see how busy it is. Cars are coming around all over the place, and there's always somebody spending money. Why? Because you need to have money. You got electricity, don't you? You have water flowing, don't you? You have clothes on, don't you? You have food in the cupboards, don't you? So I'm trying to figure out why money isn't on the top of your list and why it doesn't motivate people. Why does it mean that I can look at these cars in the background and that motivates you? Somehow it has nothing to do with you, but the rest of the world is crumbling around you and you're sitting there worrying about objects. Well, oftentimes, ladies and gentlemen, what motivates somebody is something you can't see. And there's no difference with what's going on around the world. You're sitting here in America, but around the world there's tensions. There's people dying because somebody says they want somebody's property. Motivational day. What is gonna motivate you and make you stay focused? Is it helping people? Being part of the SSN Nation? Are you sitting here saying, I am going to try to make someone's life better? That's what we do here. That's what motivates me to create these videos. But I want to know what motivates you. Please put a link down below. And I'm going to take this to the screen because we got to talk about a few other things about motivation as well. Because today's another day that you should be motivated. Let's go. We're back on the computer screen, ladies and gentlemen, and you notice we're on the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page. And what was that motivates me? Helping other people. That's right. Help other people by sharing the videos. And please, notice the join button over here on the right-hand side, right beside the subscribe button. But the join button means when we have our live streams and in the chat room, you see people with the icon next to their name. That's because they joined the channel to become a member, and they receive special messages under the community tab, and they receive 1 or 2 videos per month specifically for them under the community tab. Members of the channel can also join me on the live streams if they choose. Many other options as well. You have special icons, you have special emojis. Some of you may not know that, but you can use special emojis as well. So let's get into what motivates you. Remember, I said at the beginning, I can't believe money doesn't motivate people. Well, see, there comes a time where money overrides everything and you have to focus on it. And I'm going to show you some reason right now why some people are not focusing on money. And we know it's in the conflict, the Russia-Ukraine conflict. They're worrying about their lives right now. They're not worrying about money. They're not going to be motivated by money. You can bring a Brinks truck up there, but as long as missiles and rockets and things are going boom, they're going to be motivated with, where's my weapon? Where's my rockets and missiles? Right? So think about it, ladies and gentlemen. 2 weeks ago, a month ago, everything was nice and quiet. Everybody's going on about their business, being motivated, not by money, but by some other factors that I'm going to discuss also. But it boils down to life and death. All of a sudden, what you thought you were motivated to do has now suddenly and drastically changed. Now, let me get into this because I've talked about this several times before. This is the median income in the United States. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. As of January 19, 2022, it's $44,000. So some of you may be saying, hey, Eric, I take the median as being the average. Well, it's not really the average. See, the average is based on, let's just say I make $150,000 and another person makes $75,000. That means the average, when we combine them together, $225,000 divided by 2. So 150, 75, yes, 225,000 divided by 2. So therefore it would say, well, the average is 112,500. Now, here's the thing. Let's go one step further because now you'll understand median is different. So median goes like this. I say one person makes 150, the other person makes 75, another person makes 50. Now, what's the median? That's right. Remember, 50,000 one person makes, 75,000 another person makes, 150,000 another person makes. The median income means there's one person that makes higher, one person that makes lower, so the median number is 75. See how this changes? So in other words, half of Americans make more than 44,000. Half of Americans make under 44,000. Depending on where you live and your lifestyle and how many children and how much you have to pay for expenses, you determine if that's good or not. Now, everybody knows you live in Cali, live in New York, that's not going to cut it, right? Living up in Washington State now or Oregon, that may not cut it either. But the point I'm trying to make is you guys have to understand what's going on around here. So when you look at numbers, don't look at it just as an average, because average-wise, it would seem like, 200 and what does that be? 275 divided by 3. So then you would be like, okay, everybody makes like 80, 90,000 a year. That's cool. But no, that's not the average. That's not the median. That's not half and half, which is something you should pay attention to. So again, that's why in certain instances, they'll use average personal income, then they'll use average household income to raise it, because now you need 2 people working, so then the number gets higher. So you have to understand, if you're not going to be motivated by money, that's okay. Because what do they say? If you love what you do, then you won't have a job a day in your life. That's something to say, but ultimately you can't survive. So this is about motivation. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen, because I've talked about this several times. Look at this. Remember at the beginning when I said money, I thought would motivate people. Well, guess what? Money does motivate people. Money motivates, and extra money motivates people to work extra hard.
All right, that's very simple, right? But when you really look at things, here's what really happens once you are motivated by money, because once you receive the money, now your motivation declines. It goes down. And then it starts being less effective. So here we are. I'm not going to have it. In fact, I'll have a link down below for you guys in the description, right? Here it is right here. It works, but studies show that only the prospect of receiving money in the near future is a strong enough motivator to change behavior. Once the employee receives the money, its power to motivate ends very quickly. Some studies say within a week. So now, when people are saying that people should have a higher wage and they can't hire people, now that you know money may not be a motivating factor, it's not even top 1, top 2, top 3. Now you understand why there's a problem trying to hire people. Now, let's move on, because this is something that motivates people. Remember that conflict that I was talking about in the Ukraine and Russia? Power motivates people. Everybody wants to be top dog. And once you're top dog, you want to stay top dog, or you want to be in the conversation. Some people are motivated by power, influence, and fame. Why do you think social media has taken off? Because it's easy to find fame for something that you're doing. Because it ends up, there's thousands, if not millions of other people that likes to do what you like to do. That's why it's very powerful that you can do something you love by using social media, because maybe your closest associates and people you know and colleagues may not like what you do, but all you have to do is be online, make a video, do a podcast, and all of a sudden you may have thousands of people that like what you do, maybe millions. And from that you can derive revenue, so you're doing something you love and you may not have to work the rest of your life, right? It will not seem like work, but think of that as number one in the case of motivation, not in the workplace, but overall motivation. Self-mastery and growth, number 2 on the list. Some people want to be motivated to develop and grow. That's what we do here at the SSN Nation. Stop Struggling Now channel. That's why there has to be a little education, a little understanding on the live streams. We can talk and have discussions going back and forth, bring things up on the screen during the live stream, which is very, very valuable for some. And the open forum is immensely invaluable, because there are some people who may be watching, but they don't want to ask the question, fearing that it's what some people would say a dumb question. Well, there is no such thing as a dumb question. You should always ask about something you don't know when you're trying to learn. So again, look at the third on the list, not in any particular order, I don't think, but this seems to be like the normal list that I see. Recognition and approval is always in the top 3. On almost all lists, when you're going for a job, you want to be recognized and approved as doing your job. And funny how it is, in the overall scheme of things, everybody wants to feel approval, whether it's from your parents, whether it's from your grandparents, whether it's from your friends, whether it's from strangers. That's right, strangers. How many people are out there in the news, entertainers who are in the news, celebrities in the news, and because somebody posts something bad about them, all of a sudden they freak out. They have to change their lifestyles. Some can take it, some can't, but that's why certain things happen where people have meltdowns when you think they have everything. You're saying, hey, they have $5 million in the bank, they're famous, they're a celebrity, they play basketball, football, sports. What could possibly be the problem? Well, again, recognition and approval is very powerful motivating factors. So you have to figure out in your brain what's going to make you happy. Everything you do, there's always something on the other side that says, well, for all the good, there's going to be some bad. Can you handle the bad? That's where the thing comes in to your brain and mindset. Now, look at this. Desire to win. That is inherent in America. Everybody wants to be number one. You were taught to be that until around the 1980s when you started getting those participation trophies. Now all of a sudden people aren't motivated anymore because I'm going to get a participation trophy anyhow. But desire to win, the reason why there's a separation between the top 90% and the top 10% when it comes to economic wealth is because of this desire to win. While you're out here trying to collect participation trophies, I got a job. I work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. That's right, I get my 2, 3 weeks of vacation a year. I'm participating in the system. I'm giving my money into the 401k, giving my money into the Social Security Administration. You're participating. You're getting a participation trophy. But the top 10 percenters, they have the desire to win, ladies and gentlemen. Reaching out to others, that's what we do here in the SSN Nation, right? That's what motivates me. Because all these top things that I've mentioned, I'm like, if that's what you're motivating on, then that means you are neglecting the most important thing in a capitalist society. You're sitting there going, I'm going to do all these other things and I'm going to care about all this that's going to motivate me. Meanwhile, you got bills to pay. So look at down here as rewards and money. Rewards almost goes along with recognition and approval. That's why they give you plaques at a job. That's why in the workforce, they have employee of the week, employee of the month. They have the best teacher of the year. They have to have some sort of rewards to help motivate people. And it does. For some, it motivates. And then, of course, the passion. This is where it's even on the list, but this is where a lot of people, when they start off, when they're starting out and they're young and they say, you know what, this is what I like to do. And then you find out what you like to do doesn't have a revenue stream. And so then you beat your head going, I don't know why somebody wouldn't pay me to do what I love to do. And then you do half-ass work for other people because you can't figure it out that not everybody is built the same. All right? So I just want to go with what motivates you. Put it down below. I've had several videos where I asked this question, but nobody ever puts it down. It may not even be something on this list. What's the number one or number two things that motivate you? Let's go with number two. One or two. Put it down there. What's your top two things that motivate you? And I'm going to go and leave this video shortly with this last thing. Because apparently people don't think money should be in the top one or two. But I do. I'm going to show you something right now that's going to happen to people. The reason why I showed you the median income is very simple. You saw it was $44,000. 50% of the population makes less than that. 50% of the population makes more than that. The average wage, and in fact, let me go back to it, is $63,000. That's very interesting because the average wage in California is $62,000. That's right. In a state where it costs an arm and a leg to live, the household income means two people have to work. They average about that. So therefore, that's $120,000. Now that makes more sense, right? Now, here's what I want to show you. This is to get a roof over your head that's a mortgage. So people are thinking, look at this right here. This is where the mortgage rates are right now. 4.5% interest rate. Annual income required is $56,557. So there you know, half of the population will not qualify if they live alone. All right, so these are the kind of caveats that you have going on here. But for my illustration purposes, half of the people cannot qualify for a $1,200 a month mortgage payment with the PITI. Now, look at what happens down here when the interest rates increase, which are what's about to happen in about 2 to 3 weeks, even though the mortgage lenders have already started raising their interest rates. That's just so they can go from 4.5 to 5. So, but anyhow, look at what happens with your income. It has to start rising. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61 with each half a point percent or 0.25% increase. We're going to see some things going from 4.5 to 5. Now instead of 56.5, you got to make 58.5. Then, if that's not enough, look at this. Your monthly liabilities is only $450. Well, if you got credit cards, and let's just say you owe $1,000, look at what happens. Look at this. You have to make $89,000, ladies and gentlemen, on a $200,000 house. This is what's coming. It's happening right now. Now, let's go up to 300,000. Just 100,000 more. If you think that's crazy, look at this. Double the median income. You think that's crazy? 108,000, 4.5%. And if the Federal Reserve, which they're going to raise the interest rates, and somebody says, oh yeah, well, we're going to go up to 5.5. Well, now you got to make 111,000 and only have $450 for a car loan and only have $1,000 a month in liabilities on credit cards. And you still will have to qualify with something that the majority of the population cannot do. Now you're understanding why there's a new economy that has just shifted right underneath your feet while you're motivated for, let's see what you're motivated for. Power, recognition and approval, desire to win, reaching out to others. And down the list is rewards and money. Now you're understanding why the overall situation in America and around the world is most people don't desire for the money first and everything else second. Except for top 10 percenters generally are on that. So therefore, that's why there's a top 10% in economics and wealth around the world, because that's what they focus on. And then next comes the power, the influence. Because then once you have the money, then you have the power. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, I'm wrapping this up now. I want to know what motivates you. Let's go, because you're going to need different types of motivation over the next year or two, and especially with the unknown factor of this war situation, or incursion as I call it right now, that's going on. It's going to affect you. And guess what? Just like I said on the live stream, geopolitical this is. Remember when I said China is going to say, hey, since you guys don't care and didn't do anything, I think we're going to roll and take over Taiwan. And if you weren't on the live stream, then you don't really know that 90% of the chips in your computers, in your TVs, in your cars are made in Taiwan. This is why a China move taking over Taiwan leaves you and USA citizens and people around the world in jeopardy. And if you thought that little stuff about using a Chinese cell phone is a problem, well, wait till the rest of the world figures out using a Chinese chip that could be encoded with something else, security problems. Wait till that situation occurs. Then what? And with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, and that's why I keep bringing it up. What are you motivated for? Because very quickly, things can go south. You should be motivated to take care of yourself. That's the number one thing generally, just like you see the pyramid on the screen on the right-hand side. Generally, it's food, shelter, clothing. Those are the most important things just to be safe. After that, you're going to have to figure out, I need money. But in order to get food, shelter, clothing, you have to have number one, money in the first place. And if you have no way to have streams or revenues of income and there's not enough jobs out here, now what are you going to do? You can't be motivated empty air. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.